second now. You should be able to hear us.
Yeah, you're.
You want to dish the initial apology, Will?
Yeah, whenever we're back live again. Let me see.
I'm watching an ad.
Okay, all right. I think we're back up now. Maybe. Maybe everyone's watching an ad still.
All right, it's up.
All right, cool. Sorry about that, guys. My OBS crashed, so we'll get right back into it. Benfica's lineup, and we'll get the game started right away.
Well, thanks for joining us back, everybody. Once again, just to recap where we were. On the outside mid, we have the ever-tricky Vanquish and his pal on the opposite side, Klossy. In their cam role, they have the once again ever-present captain of this side, Chuck of Norris. Up top, they opt for Stone and Messinho, a dangerous striker pairing. Looking forward to see what they can do. Let's move over to Juventus, Scarata.
Yeah, so Juventus coming out, a lot of new additions in goal. They have Phil the Fish, who actually came over from Inter Milan. Romagnoli, Unix, and Angel round out that back line. And Angel, actually, as we mentioned before, coming over from this Benfica side who won the title with them last season. Look for him to make an impact. It's Realms and Twinkie in the DM role. Bravo and Z-Jig out on those wide positions. And Mapes, Italiano, and Eriksson. Eriksson, the big impact signing for this Juventus side. They round out the attack.
Well, now we just simply wait for the kickoff to commence. Thanks once again, everyone, for joining us for this exciting Season 12 kickoff day match. Scarata, you want to remind us of who we got in the next matchup after this one?
So this next matchup, we have a doubleheader here tonight. It is Tottenham Hotspur against Paris Saint-Germain. It's Jigsaw coming back to management for first time in a long time. He takes his troops out against the ever-present, always consistent, stay-high play and Paris Saint-Germain. He's in his 10th season now, I believe this is. That man's been doing it forever. He's gone through another rebuild at PSG. They're going to be looking to maybe not mount a title challenge, but they'll definitely cause a few issues for Tottenham Hotspur. As we saw in the preseason cup, they came in second.
A strong showing from them. And to touch on Stay High once again real quick, when I came in Season 4, he was still here. He was still making as much noise as he is now. So it's great to see one of the most consistent managers and most well-regarded players in PCN still kicking and still going strong.
Yeah, he's absolutely a fantastic manager. He's rebuilt his side once more, convinced Lupe to come back and play striker. He's done very well for himself to keep replenishing his side with players, and I'm sure we'll get one or two more team of the season players out of that PSG camp like we do really every season.
Yes, but touching back on the lineups we have for this game, let's get some initial predictions. What do you think is going here for Juve Benfica?
Ooh, I'm going to say first game of the season, and these two sides are extremely even. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I don't think any side is better than the other. If you look at the two sides, it's really hard to say this attack is better than that attack, this defense is better than this defense. They really look even in my book. I think if any team is going to have the edge, it's going to be Benfica, simply because they are repeating as title champions. But that doesn't mean Juventus and Italiano's side is going to have a huge mountain to climb. They're going to be right on par with this Benfica side.
Yeah, and one of the most important points to mention is both teams, as you said, are mostly returning players, so they already have most of the chemistry, and a lot of teams have been really grinding this early FIFA 20 stage to not only get their overalls up, but get the chemistry up, adjust to the new style of play, adjust to the new intricacies of the game mechanics. So it's really going to be a feeling out period, I feel, for both teams, even despite the fact that they both have immense quality. I think both teams might struggle in some areas to really just hone in on what they really need to be focusing on to adapt to their own style of play and what they expect to work this season. Obviously, both teams still running that 3 at the back, so still a formation that a lot of clubs seem to see as the meta, but as the season goes on, as times change, we might see if this remains to be, or if maybe this FIFA offers a little new something for as far as the dynamics go.
Yeah, I think most of the league is going with the mentality of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the 3-5-2 has been around for quite some time now, and it doesn't seem like any formation is able to break it as we are looking to connect here. So I'll just make this short. The 3-5-2 seems to be ever present throughout the league. I don't see it going away anytime soon.
Well, yes, once again with that, these teams are connecting, so we're about to get into the heat of it. Really exciting game here to kick off Season 12. Can't wait to get behind the mic and commentate this game with you, my friend Shkarada, for this Season 12 kickoff.
This should be a fantastic matchup. I mean, you have two sides. This Juventus side came second in the Super Cup last season, and obviously Benfica trying to go and do the three-peat as champions.
Good to have you along with us.
Here we are. We have Benfica in their famous reds and Juventus in their totally legit Juve blues.
The match coming up very shortly.
Piemonte Calcio boys.
Teams here, Alan.
Under pressure immediately as Benfica look to build some possession, but quickly intercepted, foul called back, will be Benfica's ball.
Yeah, you're going to see both sides pressing aggressively, and each man close down as soon as they touch the ball. It's going to take a lot of quality to break either of these sides' presses.
You can already see that second man approach as they try and contain Benfica here, see immediately a 2v1 to close them down. But there's a little decent lofted over the top ball, chance for Messina, who did not get that final touch on the ball. Will be Juve's kick.
Yeah, Phil almost caught out in no man's land there. Messina almost capitalized on it, but Juve get the bounce that goes their way, and a lucky break if you're going for Juve here.
Well, Juve with the goal kick that's initially intercepted, but regaining possession and looking to play some possession before they can really move up the field here. Quickly, once again intercepted, and then intercepted again, as is FIFA's main tradition, and again. And again. It will be Benfica's throw.
Yeah, you're seeing both sides just feeling each other out here early on. Obviously, Benfica with that early chance. Juve haven't quite gotten into their attack yet. But I think it'll only be a matter of time until they do so.
Yeah, both teams, as mentioned before the game, in that feeling out process, like you just touched on, I really think it's going to be interesting to see two sides of such quality getting this kind of game against each other and seeing what really works. You know, they might have had those friendlies earlier in the build-up to the season against teams that might not have been at the same firepower offensively and same rigor defensively as both of them, but it'll be exciting to see how they feel each other out and see how this game finishes out realistically.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one to watch. It's going to be, again, I could see it maybe the 30-minute mark, one team start to take control. But again, as I said before in the build-up, I don't think one side has the edge over the other.
Well, with that being said, here comes Juve on an immense counter. He sees that open runner back post. Striker's strong to it, quick to it, gets out there first to the ball. And now Benfica look to build out of the back. Quickly intercepted by Eriksson. One back by Taco Kid, one back by Z-Jig. Here's Eriksson, tries to pull it back. Makes it work sort of for Mapes. Cleared away by Tamori, well done.
And that's well played by Tamori. That ball that's just juggling around, you just need to clear it away and live to fight another day.
Striker's off of his line, ready for this cross, although it looks like it might be going a little further away from him than he would hope. Juve taking their time here, probably looking to run a set play. Juve's still on the ball here. Mapes wants to get it out wide, but Klasi intercepts that ball well and wants to play over the top. Juve's back line set, sturdy, firm, intercepted.
Yeah, Juve did well. They had men covering the one or two center backs they had thrown forward. It was interesting, Juventus didn't have many men in the box for that corner. It'll be interesting to see if that's something Italiano and his team are running with, or if that was maybe a set play that was going to come off the training ground. Just didn't quite happen.
Italiano sees that run, although he may be, and he is flagged offside.
Yeah, Italiano and Eric really both explosive strikers and are also creative. They're going to look to play off one another and receive those balls either over the top from the defense or through Mapes and the two DMs and allow Bravo and ZJ to allow creativity to pull those three center backs of Benfica out wide and exploit those negative spaces.
The initial comment I have on Juventus's attack is for a two-striker pairing, they don't seem to be as involved with each other as you would like to see out of that kind of attack. They both seem to be playing on their own side of the field, not really coming short and linking up with each other, building from that.
And I think part of that comes from Eric and Italiano still trying to build that chemistry with each other. I think it'll come in time, but I don't know if it's quite there yet.
As we see there, Juventus wants to create that chance. It'll only go out for a goal kick for Benfica, however.
Yeah, Benfica maybe have lost a little more grip on this game than they would have liked. Juventus starting to grow into their shape a little more.
Frankish here on the wing wants to play that deep backside ball. Klaassen got there first, but bobbled up straight into the air. Well built from the back until that interception by Chuck of Norris. Pulls it back. Options either side of him, numbers in the middle, but Realms easily intercepted. Plays that ball a little too ambitiously. Benfica want to get it forward. A little ambitiously again, now Juve's ball.
Yeah, Chuck's an interesting story on his own. He actually came back from playing striker and elected to come play as an attacking mid. I guess he wanted to do so as he did for USA in the World Cup. But it's interesting to see Chuck in the cam position, and you just wonder if things start going wrong in that Benfica attack, will you see him go back up? But tonight he's there in cam.
Well, really, he could be looking to play more of that underlapping role as a cam and focusing more on his ability to get in behind, not so much maybe pull the strings and allow for the DMs to maybe step into that space just a bit, but then that would be a lot more reliant on their defensive shape from that counter-attacking scenario.
And I think part of Benfica's off-season recruiting was with that in mind. If Chuck is going to be playing as almost a shadow striker or a deep-lying number 9 of sorts, then those DMs need to be ready to pounce on any counterattack because it'll be hard for Chuck to get back and press immediately if he's out of position.
Both teams still seeing a majority of this game through the midfield with sparse goal-scoring opportunities on either end as this first half begins to draw to a close around 36 minutes. Around halftime, we have a little announcement for everyone in the stream, a new little thing we're trying out here.
Yeah, both sides still growing into this game. It's been a little bit sloppy, as you said, through the midfield is where most of the ball has been. It's only been in either team's final third, maybe once or twice, as it's gotten to the point where you've seen the strikers drop off into the midfield areas. Eriksson now carries it out onto the wing, but you're seeing the strikers start to drop off, and when a striker's doing that, that means he's not getting the service that he wants, and he needs the ball at his feet, so he's going to drop deeper to do so.
Could provide a chance to get some more build-up through the middle and through the strikers. I haven't really seen enough of both teams playing the ball into their number 9s, maybe some hold-up play, laying it off into their underlapping runs, the wingers, the cams. It's been kind of direct. It's been a lot of these over-the-tops. Attempted triangles from Juve, but still a little bit forced at times.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see it with Juventus, just starting to try and play that tiki-taka as they try going completely direct right here.
Hey guys, I have an update from the sideline. Strikers, the GK for Benfica has lined out of the game.
He has.
He has. We can see now. Interesting. That will provide a very good chance for Juventus as long as they can make their shots on target. Strikers, again, one of the more solid, composed, well-rounded goalkeepers in the league. He's a difficult one to beat. And without their main man between the sticks, Benfica now at risk. As we reach halftime, we'll be providing an opportunity for everyone in the stream to get involved in this game. Towards the 80-minute mark, we will be dropping a straw poll for man of the match. So go ahead and start thinking on who you've seen this game so far that's been making the biggest impact. I know at the moment at halftime, no one's really taken the game by the balls and really pushed the game forward for their team. It's been very sloppy at times, and possession's been mostly in the midfield. But bear in mind, bear in mind that there will be a man of the match come the end of this game, and everyone in the stream will be involved with it.
Yeah, I think of what you've seen from these two sides so far is, well, it's been a bore fest, really. It's two sides just feeling each other out. Only two shots just between either side, and hopefully the second half wakes us up a little bit more.
Yeah, I think both teams need to get out of that mindset of respecting the opposition a little too much. Both teams know that they're excellent sides, and with that, here's a chance for Benfica. Oh, with the missed tackle, Benfica's chance for a shot. Well cut out there, and now Twinkie looks to go the other way.
Yeah,
Yes,
Twinkie.
a little bit of that respect that needs to be thrown to the side and really realizing that you can exploit either of these teams with the right kind of play. Oh, both teams a little too conservative with their play.
And one team's just going to have to say, all right, let's just go for it. I mean, at this point, it looks like one goal could win it. So which team is going to take the initiative to say, right, let's go get that one goal? If you're Juventus, it's right, strikers is lagged out. So we know we have it slightly easier in on goal. But if you're Benfica, you know, you're seeing them start to play this more direct game as Classy goes right over the top.
Yeah, and playing direct is an easy way to. It's easy to defend direct play if you know what the other team likes, and both of these teams have a similar style of direct play. A lot of switching the field, a lot of attempted diagonal runs. But with the way that these LBYs work this year, these lofted passes, it's a little more difficult to really catch someone on the run.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see these two sides go against each other this early on in the season. I think maybe we might have had slightly more.
What an excellent ball. Eriksson here just needs to stay composed, but Taco with an excellent
critical
piece
tackle.
of defending.
It's a critical tackle from Taco. He's hasn't had his finest of moments in this game, missing a few tackles, misplacing a few passes, but that was really needed right there.
Juve starting to find their rhythm, a little bit of more intricate one-touch passing here, but Taco again strong to it and wins it for his side.
I think you're starting to see Juventus start to grab hold of this game, and both sides are looking to open up a little bit more as it's been slightly more back and forth. I won't say completely, as most of the battling is being done still in the midfield.
That's a decent ball. If he stays onside, this is a chance. Easy goal, but it will be offside.
Yeah,
That was their best chance of the game so far, Benfica. They're really going to have to work to create another by catching Juve sleeping like that. Almost catching Juve sleeping on the line.
I think Juventus slightly lucky that Angel realized to get forward when he did, and it was just offside on the initial ball to, I believe that was Tomori back there, who was initially offside.
Well, the way this game is going at the moment, the man of the match may prove to be one of the defenders on either side of the pitch. At the moment, my eye is a little bit on Taco. Like you said earlier, wasn't having the best of starts with a couple missed tackles, but he's really come into his own and stopping Eriksson on Juve's only real one-on-one breakaway chance. Might prove to be one of the crucial moments of this game, but here comes Messinho down the left-hand side. He's got a couple numbers in the box. Juve back quickly, and Romagnoli here gets it out of bounds safely.
Yeah, I could easily say 2 or 3 defenders from either team, and maybe even some of those DMs who have been just completely stopping any service through the middle for either side, as everything now is going down either wing as we go down the left here.
Otto Bravo squeezes by a tackle, and Juve with some numbers forward, but Benfica also with a lot of numbers back. Juve's going to be first to that ball. Here's Gatto on the wing. Wants to play it back to Italiano. Top of the box. Well cut out by Chuck of Norris. Tries to cut it out again. Here's Italiano. Top of the box. Wants to whip the finesse shot. Falls back to him. Cuts inside with the toe. Great save by the bot.
Save.
Fortunate. Strikers would have had that one. Both of us, safe to say. Can agree on that one.
Yeah, strikers would have been all over that one.
But here's a chance that strikers might have normally come out for a little bit sooner. Seems to be offside.
Yep, offside on the ball headed back to the corner taker. One you don't like to see very often, but it is part of the rules. It'd be interesting to see with almost 20 minutes and some change left to go here. As well, this could be unfortunate.
I think we waited a little bit too long. If you maybe played that earlier, it could have been a goal, but who's to say? Still could be.
Yeah, as you said, it waited slightly too long to play that ball. If that ball was played first time and taken a little more direct, Benfica probably in on goal there.
Ironically enough, after us criticizing their direct play, one of their best chances going forward nearly came from what could have been a very good direct ball. But
And
Benfica still trying to build with possession.
And Benfica are a good side in that they're able to throw this switch of, right, let's play possession, tiki-taka, build it up.
Great turn by Messinho. Whips that back in. Delayed run.
Oh,
He's
no.
overshot it. The new manual lock-on mechanics make it difficult. Vanquish. Phil the Fish comfortable.
I don't even know what to say. That is extremely unlucky. Juve down on the other side.
Eriksson with a brilliant touch. Tries to bring it back. Takes a little bit too long. Gives time for Benfica to get numbers back. But there's that CM9 with a great read. JM9 plays that over, or CM9 plays that over the top. Bot keeper strong to it. Making it difficult.
Both sides must have looked at the clock and realized we only have around 10. Whoa, that's a red card. He's been sent off for that challenge.
Juve playing the chippy game with 5 fouls to Benfica's 1. Benfica haven't had to be as...
Twinkie just got sent off for that challenge. Juve down to 10 men.
Losing a DM is never easy in a game of this magnitude with so much attacking prowess on either side.
And right as I was about to say, Juventus were growing into this one, as well, it still might be.
Oh, there's a brilliant through ball played through, but not enough people forward for Benfica with Juve's nearly entire back 5. Their back 3 plus their 2 DMs already, well, 1 DM now, already back to support.
Yeah, Juve now down to 10 men are simply just going to look for Italiano and Eriksson to be their outlets, be high up the pitch, as we see. I believe that's Taco going into the book. But
Yes.
they're going to be looking for those 2 strikers to just simply provide any sort of ball out. And if Juve are going to get a goal now, that's how they're going to do it.
And by looking to take this free kick instead of play through the advantage, you would think they probably have some sort of play devised here that gives them their best opportunity going forward. It looks like this might be in the form of a back post ball. They're well cut out. Falls back to Juve about 35 yards out. Could be a foul, won't be a foul. Benfica look to go the other way.
Yeah, interesting interesting
ball.
call there.
They need their numbers forward to really make this work. Great little stop and go. Wants to play that. It will be a corner. This is a big chance for Benfica in the 87th minute to put their stamp on the game with a back post. He's going to get there first.
Oh, what a save by Phil.
With a massive save. That should comfortably be Phil's. He's fallen. Chance for Benfica. Juventus quick to receive, quick to contain, quick to get rid. And now they look to keep the ball in this little midfield pocket. Hopefully win the ball for their own team.
Benfica smell the blood in the water. If they're going to get a goal, it seems a little obvious to say it in the 90th minute. If they're going to get a goal, it needs to be now because everything has swung in their direction.
That's a brilliant little ball. Chance on the volley. He's pulled up leg. Pulled a hamstring going for that volley by the looks of it.
That is extremely unfortunate. Classic doing well.
Brilliantly.
Angel caught out.
Always heading forward. Still got the ball. Still Benfica in the box, and Realms.
Just got to get that one away, and wow.
That concludes our coverage of the first game. Not exactly how you would have wanted to see the marquee matchup start off for Season 12, but a good showing from 2 strong teams that just proves what we said at the beginning. This is going to be an extremely hotly contested season. It's been said that this is probably going to be one of the lowest point total seasons when the champion takes it. Teams like this show us exactly why.
Yeah, Benfica are going to be kicking themselves here that they didn't take all 3 points. Obviously, they will take a point out of it, and a point against the Juventus side for most teams is acceptable. However, when you're going for your 3rd title in a row, anything less than 3 points is a slight disappointment, and especially when Juventus go down to 10 men. I mean, that's the point, and in those last 5 minutes, that's the point when Benfica and Chuck should have been telling his team, right, this is where we need to score. This is how we're going to do it. And they just couldn't quite get that goal. Phil making an absolutely incredible save to keep things level for Juventus.
Now, let's talk a little bit about man of the match. With the way that the game swung around, initially I was saying I probably would have given it to one of those backline or midfield players, but that last turn of events and Phil the Fish coming up pretty clutch in a couple of key moments really cement his spot for me as my man of the match. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there, Phil. If that goalkeeper is anyone other than the two that we featured here, and strikers briefly, obviously lagging out, that we featured here tonight, that ball is going into net. That ball is giving Benfica all 3 points, and Phil there to save it and make 2 or 3 other really incredible stops lends me to believe that he should be our man of the match for tonight.
But it's not just up to us. Let's throw up the straw poll and get the opinions of everyone else watching the game on who you think the man of the match might be. Do we have any candidates listed?
Yes, we do. We've got 3 different guys. We've got Phil the Fish, Taco, and Realms.
Phil the Fish, Taco, and Realms. Go ahead and cast your votes on who you think might have been the man of the match from this opening marquee matchup game.
Yeah, and I think to hit on Taco, he seemed to maybe struggle in that first half. He seemed almost simply out of position. But in that second half, Eric had no room on that right side, and simply, especially when they went down, or when Juventus went down to 10 men with that 10 minutes left, Taco was all over the ball. Nothing got down that right-hand side. And to hit on Realms, obviously we had talked about how it was a grueling midfield battle throughout the whole match, really. And I think what we saw was Realms really patrol that midfield after Twinkie's sending off and make sure nothing got down the middle and nothing was really allowed to hit right at that Juventus backline.
You know, both teams' explosive offense matched by their competent and sturdy defense to leave us with a 0-0 draw that left a little more to be desired, but sure provided the entertainment in the forms of the late drama and the red card and the last-minute save.
Yeah, I think this game was either going to be really attacking heavy or really midfield dominant, as we saw here tonight, because both sides obviously still getting used to the chemistry, and both teams are obviously very high quality, and having just a few new players in that side will sometimes just alter the chemistry a little bit, and I think that's what we saw here tonight with the midfield and the forwards just not quite connecting. But I think if we revisit the reverse of this fixture later on in the season, we could see a totally different Juventus and Benfica side.
Well, as far as my post-game analysis, that's about all I've got. How's the poll doing?
Poll's doing well. I've got 18 votes right now. I know we've got more guys than that are in the Twitch chat. So if you guys haven't voted yet, please go over there and vote. We'll get you the details out of who won that a little bit later on.
With that, is it about time to move on over to our next game?
I
believe it is. I think I've been showing it on accident anyway. So, yeah. So you guys can go ahead and preview the match, and I think we're good to go.
Where is Saul Goodman? Am I taking the reins for this one?
You are.
All right.
All right. Which stream do I need to pull up, Will?
Jigsaw's gonna be good.
Jigsaw? Alright.
Yep.
You want to kick us off, Scarata, while I set myself up here?
Yep. Let me pull up these lineups here real quick.
We got PSG first.
Yep. So the PSG lineup, obviously, we had spoke on before the first match, is almost a brand new team for Stay High in his who knows how many seasons of management now. He starts out with GC the Reaper in goal. Sniper or Medic, as some might know, at left back. Yanni Greek and King Solar are the two center backs. AJ Khan at right back, and the two center mids, Awoken Goddess and Cyanide Zombie, both impressing in the World Cup and in League One. Let's see how they can do in Super League. Stunna, Cafetero, and Arkbard Tak are the attacking players, along with Stay High, always ever present, is the striker today. This PSG side, as we mentioned, completely overhauled, but Stay High always seems to get the best out of his players, and there's always one or two team of the season caliber players that always seems to come out of PSG, even in a down season. We saw it last season. They finished bottom half of the table, but they even had a team of the season caliber player there.
Well, PSG really just knows how to get the most out of their players. They're a really good cohesive unit. They practiced often, and Stay High's good to keep charge of his group and make sure they're all in unison. So it's exciting to see what they could do this season, try and really bring PSG and elevate their game a little more than they had been in recent seasons, although they were on an uptrend in the past couple seasons. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Tottenham, though.
Yeah, so this Spurs lineup, obviously Jigsaw returning to management for the first time in a while. He's built his side with maybe defense first in mind, bringing in a co-manager in Bauer 10. But he does have triple in net himself. Jigsaw and Vorxel and Bauer are the three center backs as they run this 3-5-2. Crack and Bird, the two center midfielders. Dino and Rebic out wide with Sanders, Bimst, and Everest 42 up top. Bimst, one of the most slippery strikers anybody could play against, and Everest, king of the bundles, will always get goals no matter how you present it to him.
Small funny little backstory dating back to preseason. Spurs actually, Bauer reached out to me to join, and I was like, oh dude, I'm down. And due to previous, shall we say, late night league drama, Jigsaw saw fit to find someone else, but I told Everest I was on the move to Spurs, so he signed without even double checking, and now he plays for Spurs.
You hate to see that.
But I'm sure it will provide to be a fruitful season for him, as he is a capable goal scorer with a very potent midfield surrounding him.
Yeah, I think the Spurs side is going to be interesting heading into this season, and maybe moving forward. If Jigsaw is able to hold on to management, I could definitely see him building on his current squad, and like we said in the first match, it's an extremely difficult Super League this season. No matches are going to be easy, and even those sides that may not have some of the firepower that the top sides do are going to give those top sides issues.
Yeah, it's always nice to see a Wolves or a Leicester City type team. I'm talking real Premier League here. No disrespect to PCN Wolves. I honestly haven't really seen them play yet. But yeah, it's good to see those kinds of teams that really provide upsets to big teams, that keep this league open, keep this league competitive, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what this game brings. Two strong teams, two capable teams. Might be mid-table, might be higher. Who knows?
Yeah, I project Tottenham to finish in that mid-table, but they're gonna finish probably, I would say, 7th, 8th, somewhere in that range. I can't see them getting in with the likes of Inter Milan, AC Milan, Benfica, and Juve, but they can definitely make a name for themselves slightly farther down on the table.
Well, hopefully this matchup provides a little more goal-scoring entertainment for the neutrals. It looks to be one that will prove to be with the goal-scoring capabilities of both teams going forward. But again, as previously stated, both teams are solid in the back, so it really remains to be an open game, still in that feeling-out process. I wonder if we'll see a similar kind of scrappy first half where the passes aren't necessarily going exactly where they want, while both teams still really figure out how they want to play going forward, whether it's direct, whether it's possession, whether it's tiki-taka combination play.
Yeah, and I know both teams becoming really being assembled over this past offseason. We could see a very open game, or we could see exactly what we just saw with a very boring 0-0 draw.
Well, Tottenham in white, PSG in orange, and before we really get this game underway, just a brief update from our man of the match from the previous game. With 24 votes in, Taco Kid provides to be our main man.
Yeah, Taco putting in an impact performance for that Benfica side. Congratulations to him for winning the first PCN Marquee matchup man of the match.
Let's get this game going. Woken wants to play that ball out wide. Here is Arch, wants to cut that shot inside. Triple comfortably collects on that near post effort.
Yeah, many of Stay High's players are actually holdovers from his PCN Netherlands side. He's picked who he wants to. He's picked who he wants to hang on to, and he's brought them into PSG, and he looks to develop his players like he has done for the past numerous seasons.
Spurs here looking off of a switch build from the ball. Bimst lays it in. Here's Everest, tackled away by PSG's defense, and Yanni Greek here getting the ball out left to the sniper.
Yeah, sniper team of the season at fullback in League One last season, stepping back up league, and we'll see how he does this season.
Well, a chance there for PSG to slip one in behind, but Bauer clears it out, only for a corner. It's the first set-piece play of the season for this team. Let's see what they can do with it. They play it far back and almost lose the ball as Spurs now looks to reset their team, moving back up the field and get back into position they can build. Force ball in, AJ cut out.
Just a few minutes in, and PSG look to be the ones on the front foot. I'm not sure too many expected that, but not a surprise to some.
And Rebic there keeps it in well, feeds it up to Jigsaw, who's got a couple numbers forward, but PSG also have a lot of numbers back already. Can he play that third man running ball? He can. Here comes Rebic down the left-hand side, plays it inside. Bims tries to slip in, and GC with a great save. Opportunity bundle. GC comes out on top.
Well, we talked about how Everest is the bundle god. It was Bimps going through the lines there. Unlucky not to get that last shot off, but well played by Reaper to come out and claim that ball.
Benefit that a few of these Spurs players have, the likes of Bimst, the likes of Triple. They have some chemistry from the likes of Mexican League and playing with other teams, late night league. So they already have a lot of know-how on how they play and what they're looking for. So I think Spurs' attack here definitely has a little bit more potency than PSG's. But PSG, again, have been on the front foot in the early stages.
Yeah, PSG playing somewhat direct here early on as you see them go back down this right side. They've been focusing much of their attack on that side. It'll be interesting as they swing things out to the left now, what they can do with Cafeteria over here.
Cyanide sees that ball that he can play, does play, Stay High, can't quite get there, well cut out by the Spurs center back. Sees that wide run that allows a lot of space to get in front, wants to play that early ball, GC comes sliding out. Still chance for Spurs maybe as they win the ball back. Here's Jigsaw, plays that over the top, chance for Bimst on the diving.
What a header!
Goal for Spurs! Bimst gets the opening goal of our marquee matchup streams with a wonderful diving header. Robin Van Persie. Spurs in the lead, 24 minutes in.
That is a fantastic ball played over by Jigsaw, and Bimst with an incredibly acrobatic finish to get on the end of that. And it's 1-0 Spurs.
PSG find themselves down in a little bit of a tense scenario. Both teams never want to disappoint. Some teams say they feel a lot more extra pressure being on these marquee matchup games. Let's see if that really affects either team here with the opening goal now scored.
I think Spurs are going to be the ones.
Brilliant move by Rebic.
That's fantastic feat there from him. I think Spurs are going to be the ones out looking for vengeance. Lost their first game to Chelsea, their London rivals, 1-0 as well. And again, with this Spurs side, you look at their quality up top. They need to be scoring more goals than just 0, and they've got their first here of the season.
Stelma here, trying to give a chance to PSG to hold the ball, but once again they look to go the direct route. This time it looks like it'll work out here as Cafetero beautifully flicks, but Dino, second man ready on that touch to win the ball back.
Yeah, Dino having a very good World Cup with USA and playing very well in his previous seasons. He's definitely a player to watch over this season and the next.
PSG with a good interception there, but falls straight to Bird. A little bit back and forth here in this midfield. Both teams liking the way to play wide. Rebic gets the ball into Everest. Everest with a great hold up, but AJ reads that play nice and comfortably. Solar plays that one out to the left, into Sniper looks to build with PSG. A little bit of ball manipulation there in their own half. Bird intercepts strongly. Chance lays it off. Chance for Spurs to go forward with the ball here. Good ball into the middle. Once again, PSG's back line doing them some favors, but attacking, they haven't done them any yet.
Yeah, PSG need to figure out a way how to play the ball through the middle, play it on the ground. Most of their attempts have come off of balls in the air.
Decent little ball though. Chance triple with a wonderful save. Ball into the box. Bird strongly clears.
That is a strong wrist from Triple.
Everest here, offside in the end. As we're approaching halftime, start putting your thoughts in for who might be the man of the match if this game continues. At the moment, the goal scorer, the obvious candidate, but it's been a solid game from a lot of other players on this park as well.
Yeah, and it's been much like the teams have been similar in that they seem to only be playing down one side. Spurs playing down this left and PSG playing down the same side on the right. So it's been very interesting. It has been very one-dimensional. That's the best way to put it. As they come down this right side again.
Wants to whip in an early cross. Dino wins that in front of his man. Crack here. Chance to see him running down that line. Rebic wants to play that ball. He can, but AJ sees that pass every day of the week. Jigsaw sees that one on weekends, though, and he plays that ball out wide to Rebic. Sees that early ball into the box, and GC the Reaper comfortably out to punch. And it will be halftime with Spurs taking the lead through a 24th minute diving header through Bimst.
And PSG maybe having slightly more of the possession, but they haven't been able to do much with it. Most of their possession has been in their own half. It's been interesting to see what either side can do with the ball. Spurs looking to really win the ball back and hit quickly on the counterattack, and PSG trying to play this high possession, high direct game. It doesn't seem to exactly be working for them so far. It'll be interesting to see what more they can do, what tricks Stay High has up his sleeve to get past this Tottenham side.
The second half looks set to kick off. Let's see if the managerial halftime team talk puts enough pep in the step of either side.
Stay High would have told his players, we need to keep the ball on the floor. We need to get things through the middle. And, well, that's good advice. Tottenham Hotspur have been better through the middle, and they've been pressing with higher intensity. So it's interesting to see what PSG are
Let's try the long shot. GC with a strong hand to force that one back out in the middle.
Yep. Tottenham Hotspur on the back post there. There's a good clearance from the PSG defense.
Solar reads that reverse touch, and Yanni Greek drops it back to GC as they look to build. Everest reads that Numbers are entering the box now as Everest, with some clever hold-up play, drops that one off to Jigsaw. Jigsaw now has 2 men on, but he sees that front post ball to Bimston. Solar with a great block, and now Spurs have another chance to go 2 ahead here from this corner.
Yeah, it was
comfortable.
Key header from Solar to make sure that Bims doesn't get his second in the game in similar fashion.
Wants to see that long throw. Everest holds it up with numbers forward and Sniper. Easy read here to give GC the Reaper another touch on the ball. Both keepers been getting a little bit of time on the ball. It's been nice to see as a fellow keep.
Yeah, probably GC more than Triple at the other end, but it's part of this high possession game that PSG are trying to play here.
Stay high with a nice little hold-up play. Here comes Arch with an overlapping run on his outside and lays it back off, going back out to the left. Sniper cycling once again as they look to go through the middle, and a nice little chance for Stay High!
Not far off from the PSG manager. Could we call that their best chance of the game? It's certainly a chance, if a half only. And another touch for GC the Reaper here.
That one out to the right. Works out. Was a little bit risky at first.
Yeah, AJ Khan doing very well to get that ball up the pitch as quickly as possible.
Very much wants to see him. You know he does, and he finds Bimst. There's that overlapping run, but PSG's outside back holds off and forces them to try and build once again through the middle. Everest really fighting to win the ball, and he does. Excellent footwork here as Jigsaw gets it out wide to Rebic. Spurs looking to get another goal on the score sheet, but PSG fortunate enough to win the ball back off of an interception, and now holding a little bit more possession.
Yeah, and in that attack there for Spurs, you could almost see the being given to Bimst as the fullback just simply backed off of him and said, right, you're not going to beat me with the pass at your feet. And, well, he ended up finding a pass in the end.
Ball into space as Everest looks to get on the end of this one, but well defended by Yanni Greek there, not letting the bundle master get any.
Clearance almost worked out there as we go back to the keeper once more. It was just a big clearance over the top, but I believe it was Badger there to scoop up the remnants.
Both teams playing a little better again in the second half. 70 minutes down, 20 to go, with some change, as you say. Both teams really looking to cement the result. PSG looking to get back in it, and Spurs looking to close it out.
Yeah, PSG starting to have the urge of pressing as they get a little bit too much urge and go offside, but their press has become slightly more intense. They understand that they need a goal to level things back up and get their first point of the season. They also losing their first game 1-0 to Bayer Leverkusen. So neither team off to the best of starts in their first game, but it is Tottenham Hotspur who are in the driver's seat right now.
With that, Bims cuts inside the box and comfortably collected by GC. Wants to distribute this one with a nice little throw into space on the right-hand side.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more often with this 4-3-3 that PSG are playing. The fullbacks are starting to overlap and try to cause issues for those outside backs of Spurs.
Both teams running a 4 at the back as opposed to a double 3 at the back, so it's a little more difficult to really expose one team's back line when you both have a similar style. What really differs is just the attacking style. A lot of wide play from both teams, but PSG really the ones focusing on the wide play with those tricky wingers.
Spurs just looking to close this one out. They don't want to give any sort of counterattacking options to get in behind their back line. They know they've defended well, they've attacked well, they've pressed well. It's time for them to see this one out. Either get another goal, which it looks like they want to do.
As this game begins to come to a close, Everest rounds his man brilliantly. Continues down the line, wants to play that one in, but 3v1 fallen to Dino. Chips that one in. GC comfortably punches, but it's fallen back to Rebic into Jigsaw, who could really make something out of this. PSG's back line once again bails them out.
It's been bend but don't break for PSG. They've broken once. They're trying not to break again.
Nice little one-touch switched play. Rebic really controlling this game on the left-hand side. He's really been the catalyst of this Spurs attack in the second half.
If we had ball advancement metrics in FIFA, I believe he would be up there with
It's an excellent throw. Everest holds it up and wins the free kick for Spurs, who have some big men that can really get on the end of this cross and put this game to bed if they get it right.
Expect those 3 center backs to get up there as we see one of them come onto the top of the box
plays
right now.
Pretty tall, maybe 6'4" if I had to guess, and he was obviously the target there, but here come PSG going the other way, but Crack steps strongly to that one. Jigsaw tries to force it over. A little lucky there. Everest wins it back, plays it up. Here's Dino, who will be flagged as offside with 30 seconds left in the second half. This game looks like it may as well finish 1-0 to Spurs. And it does. So that concludes our coverage of the match today. Marquee matchups, 2 in the books, 1 goal across 2 games, but what a goal it proved to be. Let's get some thoughts, quick post-match thoughts, and we'll move on to man of the match.
Well, I think PSG not getting off to a strong start of this season, 2 1-0 defeats. They seem to struggle working the ball through the middle, and if they're going to have success with the 4-3-3, they need to incorporate those fullbacks into their attack, and they seem to fail to do so and to really beat that Spurs press. And speaking of the Spurs press, it was absolutely flawless. We even saw Everest get on the end of a Reaper, a ball being played out by Reaper. So Spurs are going to be a tough team to play out from. But the only criticism of them is maybe they should have generated a few more quality chances than maybe just the half chances that they crafted out for themselves tonight.
Well, let's move on to our man of the match performance. My hot takes, my candidates are going to be Rebic and Bimst. They really took the game in control going forward for Spurs, and Bimst with the goal, and Rebic really just orchestrating everything on that left-hand side. Felt like they didn't really work it around as much as they would have liked to on both sides of the field. It felt very heavy on one side of the field, but hey, they played heavy on that side of the field, and those players showed up, so.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick a man of the match, I'm going to say Crack. I think part of the crucial part of PSG failing to play through the middle was because Crack was marking every run. He seemed to be all over the pitch. We said his name multiple times, I know. Crack, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated DMs in this league, and I could definitely see him moving forward and getting some recognition for his play here in the coming weeks in the season and future seasons.
Will, do you have any other comments on who could have been a potential man of the match for today before you put up the poll?
Yeah, I think Crack, Bimps, and Rebic are the guys we're going to go with for this game. Rebic was all over the ball. I think it's really close between him and Jigsaw on who gets that third spot. Jigsaw obviously got the assist, and I think he controlled play a lot, but Rebic really opened up the game for them and opened up that left side of their attack. I do, however, think AJ played a really good game on the right back for PSG against that left-sided attack. But we've got Crack, Bimps, and Rebic for our man of the match candidates for this game. And the straw poll is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, any closing thoughts before we wait for this poll to fill up and announce?
Yeah, I think these two sides, while maybe on paper didn't look incredibly equal. Obviously, Spurs having more of the higher quality players, it does have to be said, with no disrespect to PSG and Stay High. But Spurs played well to only limit them to a 1-0 victory, and I think PSG going forward will look at this match and say, right, if we can hang with these guys for as long as we did and only allow one goal, if our attack gets a little bit better, we can start nicking points off of these midfield sides and maybe nick a point or two here off of those big teams in the Benficas and Juventus. But it is going to take time with PSG. Again, not off to a good start. Looking at the other side, Tottenham coming back from their 1-0 defeat to Chelsea and putting on a stellar display against PSG. The only thing, like I said before, they'll be kicking themselves about is we need to create more chances, more higher quality chances for Everest and Bimst. And I think Jigsaw is going to have not his hands full, but he's going to have his work cut out for him and trying to figure out what's the best way to organize his team going forward.
Now, drop the straw poll in there one more time. I've got a few votes, but not as many as we had last time. But we do have a clear favorite as of right now.
That clear favorite being?
I guess we can go ahead and reveal it. Would you like to do that?
Yeah,
Sure.
I suppose we could.
Cool. All right. Here you go. I'm sending you results right now. There you go.
And unsurprisingly, our man of the match for this Spurs PSG game was in fact the goal scorer Bimst. Again, we only had 8 votes, so not a whole lot of swing and sway. But Bimst as the goal scorer, a lot of people thought he had the most influence on the game there, making sure Spurs got the handy 3 points they needed from this one.
Well, goal scorer, what a goal it was. The flying header, Van Persie-esque. If you're going to score your opening goal of the season, what better way to do it? And congratulations to Bimst on winning the man of the match for the PCN Marquee matchup for this matchup tonight.
Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. I'm a little Brazilian.
And my name is Garada.
And we will see you guys next match day.